don't have the expectation that you're going to be injury free because it's unrealistic. Like, everybody deals with some sort of pain at one point in time or another. Like, even if you just take low back pain, whether you're sedentary or not, 90% of the US population deals with back pain at one point in their life or another.
Welcome to another Creature Feature, everybody. Today I'm here with Trevor Kim. Trevor, if you'd like to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and we'll get started here.
I'm Dr. Trevor Kim. I have no idea why he wants me on this podcast, but here we are.
Dang, throws it right back at me like that.
That's
Love
funny
that.
enough.
So, Trevor, when you're not just cracking backs and slinging weight overhead, what do you like to do? Like what are you doing in life right now? What's going on? Tell us what you got going.
So right now, most of what I do is training. Train a lot of people online, do a lot of low back rehab stuff online, low back and knee. But my main gig is I work in spine surgery.
Oh, gosh.
And so that's what I do with the majority of my day, and then treat patients a few nights a week, train people in the garage a few nights a week, and then still train weightlifting to try to be not weak.
Yeah, I think, yeah, and you definitely aren't. I think most people that are going to be tuning in have already been familiar with you in some way, has seen your content, seen, that you have your accolades. We can see them behind us here in the shot. So
Yeah,
obviously,
that's why I sat my chair here.
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. So obviously, like I said, it speaks for itself. So I guess I said the two different alleys. I think most people when we think of you, like I said, your doctor side or your weightlifting side. So just for the viewers out there, like what side came first? Was it more the chiropractic side? Was it more the weightlifting side? Was it kind of a hybrid of the two, or how would you define what came first in your life?
So I played college baseball, and then after college baseball was done, I had to find some type of competitive outlet. I started more with just like normal powerlifting training because it's more accessible. And then with my first job, my boss coached CrossFit.
Okay.
And so during that, I kind of found weightlifting because I was furious that he was better at snatching than me.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, I'm not gonna let this last very long. And then, so I went to his CrossFit gym, did a snatch workout, and he kind of showed me what to do. And I snatched like 200 pounds my first time snatching. And he was like, hey, you should probably like look into this. You could be pretty good. And then I snatched 100 kilos in like 2 weeks. And then 10 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
163, and I'm not good at clean and jerk, so we'll leave that out.
That's a relative mark, guys.
Yeah,
like,
for
it's
sure.
Not that he's not over here doing 120 kilos, but so what is your
I've clean and jerked 87.
Yeah.
187.
187 for everybody out there.
I've cleaned 195 kilos and jerked 201 kilos, but for some reason I can't put them together.
Well, I mean, as any weightlifter knows, that putting them both at the same time is quite taxing on the body. So it's
for sure. Give me a garage gym tip. Frozen towel.
That's actually that's really smart.
Big Jake, you know Big Jake?
Which one?
I don't even know his last name. He's a super heavyweight, but he lives for Morgan's mom. But he's the one that texted me that. He's like, dude, garage gym trick, get a frozen towel.
I've definitely probably seen his videos before.
Yeah, for
at
sure.
Some point.
He's super strong too. He's done like 165 to 05 maybe.
Oh yeah, okay. Because is he probably one of the guys that's like always Caesar's like or Caesar's talking about
Caesar and Meech.
Yeah. So okay, so like so when it came to the chiropractic side though, I just want to know like what really influenced or brought your curiosity out for that? Was it more from like, because obviously you've been an athlete your whole life, so would you say that it was more from like a personal injury kind of perspective that you got interested in it, or you were just genuinely intrigued by the field? Or I'm sure it's a little bit of both, like you're like just figuring out, trying to implement stuff into your own routine.
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like a lot of people that get into like Chiro or PT is because of a personal injury story. Yeah. Like we kind of talk about that in school, right? All right, what makes you want to what makes you want to be a chiropractor? What made you choose to go to grad school, whatever. And I was one of the few that didn't have like a significant personal injury story that was successful that made me choose Chiro. So I did have an injury story. Like I broke my back in high school playing baseball, went to the Chiro. They didn't know it was broken. He
Yeah.
tried to adjust me, and it was the worst pain I've
Yeah.
ever been in.
What happened exactly?
I like part of it I think was just overuse, but I slid into second base
Yeah.
and like hit my head on the guy's leg and
Yeah.
like kind of scorpioned, if you know what
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So scorpion had some back pain, but continued to play on it, and it just continued to get worse.
Debilitating. Yeah.
Tried to convince my mom that it was broken. She's, you're just being dramatic. Like, oh, okay. And then I woke up and couldn't walk one day, and she was like, okay, maybe we should go
Check
get
it
this
out.
checked out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I ended up after undergrad, my first job was at ATI Physical Therapy.
Oh
So I
gosh. Yeah.
worked in outpatient physical therapy, but it was like PT mill style, where it's where each clinician is seeing like 25 people a day.
It's all about
And
volume.
yeah, all about volume, and I was just exhausted working in there. So that was my only real introduction to physical therapy, and I was like, I don't think this is what I want my life to look like moving forward.
Yeah.
And I shadowed a couple chiropractors that ran their own business and still see patients, and you can vary how you see people. You don't have to stick to the insurance-based model of uh, of physical therapy, because back then, especially, it was very rare for physical therapists to have their own practice. It's a little bit different nowadays, but in 2015, I like really didn't know any physical therapists that ran their own thing, but I knew a bunch of chiros that did. So I was like, oh, you make more and work for yourself. Sign me up.
Do you think that field has evolved as a result of it being, like I said, it being, I guess, I don't want to say it doesn't work, but that business model obviously was bringing people in at a higher volume and everything like that, but people were very disenfranchised. I know me personally, as a person that had gone to an ATI before, that was like, that didn't really do anything for me.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you think that there's more availability for people to have their own practices now just because they're like, people wanted something different?
Yeah, I think social media plays the biggest role in that change, right?
Yeah.
Because people are putting out really good, obviously it's full of shit too, but people are putting out really good content. Like
Yeah.
there's a bunch of valuable information online. And I think that through that, people understand that there are different philosophies and different options when it comes to choosing a provider. So the main issue with those insurance-based companies is, so how exercise is billed through insurance is it's billed in like 8-minute increments. And that's the same for Chiro, PT. If you're doing therapeutic exercise, it's billed in an 8-minute instrument.
Yeah.
So for a physical therapist to get the money that they need, right? They have to bill so many people that 8-minute increment, and you can't bill an hour's worth of 8-minute increments, right? So
Yeah.
that's why you get the therapeutic exercise. That's why you get the like scraping, whatever soft tissue work.
The 10 minutes on the bike.
Yeah, the 10 minutes on the bike, that's a therapeutic exercise bill, right? So
Yeah.
they get $26 for you being on the bike.
It's crazy.
And now when you extrapolate that over 25 patients a day, that's how those clinics are successful. Where the cash-based practice comes in is, unfortunately, it's cash-based. So people, because we have to have insurance here, people want to use it, but the quality of care when you use insurance is generally lower. I won't say all of them are lower,
Yeah.
but generally, if you're using a cash, or if you're using an insurance-based model, it's just the quality of care is lower.
Yeah, because they're not going to send you the best thing if you're based off insurance. Like,
Yeah, or they're under time crunch, or they have to see so many people to like make the livable hourly rate
yeah.
that most providers are shooting for.
Yeah.
But when you're cash based, you can charge what you want. If people are willing to pay it, then awesome. You usually get a much better service in the cash based business. Not to say that it's always black and white, but
No, but yeah.
but generally it's a better service. You get more one-on-one attention. And everybody's model still varies differently in that cash-based realm, but at least in general, that's why I decided to go cash-based, because dealing with insurance is just a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you hear about it all the time, no matter like what field of the medical world you're in. People, even just talking to nurses and everything, everybody hates all of the extra stuff that you have to go through just to get through insurance and the hoops. And, even people just being denied care that they should be getting just based on their insurance and what their insurance is okay with providing and versus not. So
Yeah, that hits me in the surgical world too. Like, we have cases canceled all the time because of insurance denials, or insurance will tell us we can't use a certain product in this surgery because they're not approving it. Like, where do you get off telling a surgeon that they can't operate how they want to? It's mind-boggling.
Yeah. I feel like a Luigi Mangione just like popping up behind you, like as we talk about all this. Like I feel like
he's the devil on my shoulder.
There's like just fading like this photo in this background, just like coming up right now as we keep talking about insurance, how much everybody hates it. So yeah, okay, so yeah, as of 2015, you felt like like the shift started. Well, hadn't quite started yet towards more cash base, but that's like how you were getting involved with the ATIs. And
that's more how I decided to go to Chiro school, because I knew I didn't want to
deal with that
deal with physical therapy, like the outpatient world. And the minimal experience I had with chiros, I was like, oh, this seems to be a much better fit for my personality. And then I got to Chiro school and I was like, oh, this is a bunch of bullshit.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Well, this guy can still get through this, I guess.
Yeah. You really don't get into the like super weird philosophy stuff until you're, trimester 4 or 5. Then it starts to get pretty philosophy based, but kind of sunk cost fallacy. You're already
But I was gonna say you're already bought in. So that bought in.
It's like, all right, I'm almost done. I'll just stick this out, and then I can use the information that I deem useful in practice, and then just throw away all the nonsense, which is.
Do you think that if they would have started with that philosophy-based stuff, like that you would have stuck with it?
No, they would lose so many people if they started with all the philosophy-based BS. Like, a vast majority of my class, when we got to that stuff, they're like, what are we doing here? This is a waste of money. And like, there are a bunch of different curriculums online for different schools. And unfortunately, I didn't realize this at the time, but and I thought Logan was a decent school, but they're ranked like towards the bottom on science-based curriculum. They're like 13th or 14th out of 20. It's like, all right. So if you are thinking about going to Chiro school, like, look up the curriculums, because you can get a really high quality education. Just find one of the schools that doesn't preach all the philosophy nonsense.
Like I said, because that's the thing that happens to a lot of kids, I think, when they're signing up for college. Like this is a good school, but you got to look at the department that you're going into to make sure that that's also, a good department to get involved with when you're going to be there.
Yeah, and it's tough because you don't know what you don't know. And like, oh, this seems fine. Like, it's a good school. I know people that went here, and then you hear people talking about curing cancer by spinal adjustments. You're like, all right, what are we fucking doing here?
And you lost me there. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So chiropractic school, like, as you're in it, I said, you've already kind of like, we're talking about back to this time of life, you sort of got into weightlifting. So obviously doing both those things at the same time, and to the degree of success that you've had with it, has taken time, and you've obviously had to juggle. So when you're going through this part of your life, like, what was that like? Like, what did your days look like when you had like school, but you also like, I've got to train today, I've also got to be a human being today. Like, how did you make that work, and like, what did that look like at the time?
So I actually coached my way through grad school too, to pay for my gym membership and pay for just like have some extra spending money on top of whatever loans we took out to help pay for living. But yeah, so I would wake up at like 4:30 to coach the 5 a.m. class, coach the 5 a.m., the 6 a.m., go to school from 7:30 to usually like 4:30. And Chiro school, at least in grad school, my grad school it's like elementary school, where you're in the same classroom all day, and then it's just different subjects. We were in the same classroom all day, and then every hour a different teacher would come in.
Interesting.
So you don't like get a ton of change of scenery and like get up and moving. So it's
mundane,
monotonous.
That's very mundane.
So be in school until 4:30 or so, and then drive straight to the gym, train until 7:30, and then go home and not study, and wake up the next day and do it again.
Yeah, that's a long day, obviously.
Yeah, and I coached Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. So those days were obviously really long. But making training, a lot of people complain about not being able to train during grad school or during school in general. Like, you just have to make it a priority. I don't drink, I don't smoke, didn't party. Like, it just wasn't something that I was interested in. I wanted to be a good weightlifter, so that was my priority, and I made sure to make it one.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, is that, like, obviously when you're going through life, and like you have your negotiables and your non-negotiables,
For
right?
sure.
And it just comes down to like, hey, like these are all optional things. I guess I get to lock in which ones are going to be my non-negotiables, the things that I have to get done today. And the thing is, I think that's where people start to have trouble. They're like, oh, now I said that I wanted to be a weightlifter, or oh, I said I wanted to be in grad school, but now that's functioning more in my optionals or my negotiables versus my non-negotiables. And then it's when you see people start falling off, dropping out of school, not hitting numbers, not progressing, it's because like, well, it's because you're putting way too many of the optionals in those places of your non-negotiables, and as a result, now everything that you were supposed to be focusing on, it's not really happening. It's not like it can't happen.
Yeah.
It's just you're choosing to get distracted.
Yeah. It's all about, people like to conflate discipline with mental toughness.
Yeah.
And it's not mental toughness. It's just, are you willing to go to the gym today as opposed to go hang out with your friends or go try to pick up girls on Tinder or whatever. It's like,
well, this thing is like just they think that they're interchangeable, right? Discipline, mental toughness, and it's like no, not. I mean, I think they can go hand in hand and help one another, but it's like mental toughness doesn't make you disciplined or whatsoever. I was like, we see some of the most mentally tough people just completely go on side quests and for their life, whatever, do whatever you want to do with what time you got. But it's like sometimes making poor choices, but being like mentally tough about it, or even disciplined to those poor choices, actually gets you in a bad place.
For sure.
It's like,
or not even necessarily a bad place, just takes enough energy and detracts enough from the goal that you end up quitting or just not making the progress that you want, which inevitably leads to quitting.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So obviously what year was it that was your first national championship?
So I started weightlifting in 2015, late 2015. My first nationals, I did my first meet 2016. So my first nationals was 2017.
Okay. And was that like, would that have been during while you still would have been in school?
I had just started grad school when I
just started grad school.
Or maybe it was right before grad school. It was right after I got married. We went on our honeymoon. And then the weekend we got back from our honeymoon, we competed.
Yeah.
So I trained in Mexico at like some random CrossFit gym, like 3 days a week.
Yeah.
While we were on our honeymoon, she was like, "Are we seriously doing this right now?" Like, listen, again, goes back to non-negotiables. Like, I have a meet next weekend. It's my first big meet.
Yeah.
Like, I can't not train for a week right before national championships.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got back. I think we got back on like a Saturday, and then that next weekend was my first national championships.
Okay. So yeah, because that was kind of leading into like the next question I had for you, because I was like, all that stuff going on at the same time, your personal life, you've got school coming up, so you're training, and then you're trying to pull off not only competing in a national like competition, but also end up winning it. Do you remember what your total was at it?
I didn't win that one.
Oh,
no, that was my first one. I think
okay, that's
like,
what
it would have been like right around 300.
Okay.
I was in a B session.
Okay.
That's back when senior nationals was only senior nationals. They didn't have juniors and U25s and youth. It was only senior nationals. So it felt like a much more exclusive meet than what senior nationals feels like now.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool experience. It's back when Kendrick and Norick were still lifting. So I got done competing, and then they were the session right after me, and I was still like in that. When you're early on in weightlifting, you're still kind of in that fanboy phase. And I was like, damn, they're so strong. I was like, I need to figure out what I'm doing to get to that level. Still haven't quite gotten there, but I've done okay for myself.
I'd say you're pretty damn close. You know, like I said, you're not as far off as, I mean, that's the thing about weightlifting is like, we can talk about, we can get in the weeds about, like how the diminishing returns thing happens over time. Like as you enter like in extra percentages of how good you are, like putting a kilo or two on your total in 1 year might be a great success.
Oh, that's a huge success for me at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the level you're on. But somebody like me, I'm like, well, I hope that I can do that in the next 3 months. So you're like, next 2 months, damn, let's do it this month. Why not? Like as long as everything goes right, that should be easy to do.
Just have one good max out
Just
Friday.
have like one good session, we might be able to do that.
A gram of caffeine, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, exactly. Now that's the gram of caffeine might put me under, but to each their own. So, do you remember your prep though for your first national championship where you won though? Do you remember what that was like? And like,
Yeah.
did anything feel inherently different going into that, or like, did you like, where there's that intention and like that intent, like this is I'm prepping and I'm not trying to show up as just in the A shit session, but take the A session.
No, nothing really changes. It's just the numbers hopefully keep going up.
Yes. Okay.
I did switch up training for my first national championship. I ended up working with a guy out of Australia, and he kind of changed my philosophy around training. I used to do a lot more variation, a lot more volume, but he kind of cut out all that variation. I did snatch triples from the floor.
So I say, is this
And
the triples time? Yeah.
and I've done this. So I won my first championship in 22, maybe. So I've basically repeated a similar version of what I've done or what I did for that national championship, every training block for every meet, kind of since then. Obviously, I go in spurts of really hard training and like just kind of maintenance training, because trying to train heavy clean and jerks all the time is how you get hurt. So if we're really far away from a meet, like I didn't compete, I competed at the Arnold and then don't have anything till finals. If I'm training like it's meet prep that whole time, like I'm gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
So for a few months,
something's gonna go wrong.
yeah. So if for a few months, it's like, all right, I don't need to do only snatch and clean and jerk. Try to take some time doing a little bit of variation just from sake of monotony, switching up a little bit, and like some of the variations you just can't do as heavy, so it's a little less rough on your body, particularly in the clean and jerk. I could probably do competition snatch training year round and be fine, but
Yeah.
clean and jerks take it out of me.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's more load.
Yeah.
More load management that you have to be, like I said, more stressors.
And my technique's just not as good, so the odds of me getting hurt at those bigger weights is definitely higher.
So and that's the thing is like when you get to the level that you're at, all it takes is like 1 degree difference here, 1 degree difference that of how you move, and you could really mess your body up just because of the load that you're moving your body with.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like, it's like just because you get stronger is like that. Like, just when you get stronger or more powerful, or whatever, like it just becomes you have to have more intent to move in good patterns.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like I said, your body doesn't just I mean, it does get more resilient in a way, but still like trying to like moving 180 kilos or more in the wrong way is not going to do you any favors.
The consequences are more if you mess up.
Yeah.
If you mess up with 100 kilo clean and jerk, the consequences aren't that bad.
Yeah. It's like
you mess up with 180, 190.
Yeah.
Like the consequences can be life altering. So
exactly.
You have to definitely be very, very cautious, intentful, and like willing to make changes on the day. Like if you just don't feel good, and 190 or a max effort clean and jerk is written on the program, like, and you're not feeling it, like you just have to be smart enough to call it that day and just know that it's worth not doing the actual program today versus trying to do it and getting hurt, which is, I coach a lot of like younger athletes or newer athletes to the sport, and that's an issue that I have with them. Is some of them just want to max out all the time, David, and then some of them and then some of them like just want to stick to the program like all the time. It's like it's a little bit different when you're remote, because if you're in person, you're like, hey coach, I'm just not feeling it today. It's like, all right, well, let's make a change. And that happens across the board. But when you're remote, you're like, I've just got this program today. This is what he wants me to do. I need to stick to it. And it's like, it varies a lot based on how you feel. And when you're 10 years in the sport, you almost know at like your first or second warm up how today's going to go.
Yeah, you're a lot more in tune with your body and what's going to happen. Yeah. No, it makes sense.
I know how it's supposed to feel, and if it feels a little bit off, it's like, all right, well, we'll just do some percentage work today instead.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. It's, I don't know. I was thinking about like, because some people are going to be listening maybe don't do Olympic weightlifting, and maybe I was trying to think of the different way to visualize what it's like to be moving more weight and how important it is to move better the heavier you get. I guess I would think of it like diving. That's what comes to mind, right?
Sure.
It's like if you are diving from 10 meters, like, all right, you probably don't want to do anything too dumb because I mean it's kind of high up there, but so you go up to 20 meters and like you're just like jumping from that. Well, it's like the stakes are even higher. Like it's like now if you move just a little bit more this way or that way, then you can land kind of funny and it's gonna hurt you. And 30 meters, like it just keeps going up and up. The heavier you get, it's like going higher and jumping from the distance in the water. It's just like might not go well. It just gets more difficult the higher you get.
For sure.
So,
and I work with divers that have smacked from 10, 15 meters, and yeah, they're done for the day.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, that's tough. So obviously you've competed quite a bit in your career. You think you know how many competitions you've done off the top of your head?
God, no.
Yeah.
And probably in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in the 30s. I do about 3 a year.
Yeah.
It was more at the beginning because I would do more local meets.
Yeah.
I just don't do local meets that often anymore.
It's another thing is like just kind of like we were talking about, like, you know, weight thing is just like obviously you're at a level now that you have to put their load management's way higher. Like you're not going to just do local meets just to do them. You might, I mean, the reason for you to do a tune-up meet now versus somebody that's only been competing for 2 years is completely different.
If I'm going to do a tune-up meet, it's because there's money on the line.
Yeah.
Like if I can go in and do a 90% total and win $500,
why not?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I can do that. Supposed to do 90% today anyway, like I might as well go make some money doing it. But other than that, I basically don't do local meets. And it's not for like, and it's not like an elitism thing. It's just like, I just don't want to.
Well, why?
I don't need the practice. I've done enough meets. I don't need to go.
Yeah, it's just there's no need. And also, like, if you are trying to do bigger percentages than maybe you're supposed to anyway, like, what's the point of potentially getting injured?
Yeah, I don't want to go follow myself for 6 attempts at some CrossFit gym on some
another 2 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I can do that in here by myself. Set the garage up pretty well to just be able to train however I want to.
No, 100%. So, but in all of those meets that you've done, would you say that there was one moment that like that comes to mind that you was like, I'm never gonna forget that moment? Like that was like just burnt into your brain. Like first thing that comes to mind.
My not necessarily during the meet, because a lot of the times it's a bit of a blur, especially in the bigger meets. You're just like you're in the situation and you're in competition mode, so you really don't have the time to like take it in.
Yeah.
But the like kind of the coolest experience was my first international meet in Italy.
Okay.
Being in the training hall with, you know, everybody that you see on the internet. Like I watched Lasha snatch 200 in the training hall. Like Anton Plesnoy did. I competed with Anton Plesnoy, so Olympic bronze medalist.
That's dope, yeah.
Some of the Russian lifters were there because it was like
people. Yeah, you watch all those training hall videos and those.
Like Toma.
Yeah.
When she was like on top of the world, kind of before Olivia took over.
Yeah.
It's like whole media, like all the weightlifting media would just surround themselves around one platform. And then after that lift was done, run to the next platform. So I'm trying to train during all of that. And it's like, well, I want to watch all that stuff too because I'm going to see it on the internet later.
Yeah.
That was kind of the biggest experience or like the biggest like standout moment. And then at that same meet, Piros told me he liked my snatch technique. So that was
that's
huge
awesome.
Dub.
That's a big dub. These are Piros to tell you that. That's not just anybody on the street telling you that.
Yeah. So all you talking shit about my arm bend, Piros said I'm cool. So
eat shit, everybody. Piros likes it. So I know that like a lot of times people talk about like general like mentalities, philosophies, and all that stuff when it comes to training. But like when it comes to yours, do you have one? Like, would you say is there some kind of overarching theme or to use lack of a different word, but philosophy like comes when you're doing things?
It's a bit different based on whether you're talking about my training or whether it's some of the athletes that I'm working with. So if it's my training, I just don't think that I need much variation. So I really like to do snatches, clean and jerks, squats, pulls. I rarely do much else than that. So do some accessory work, or if something's really bugging me, I'll do the rehab surrounding that. But for the most part, the actual training is very specific to weightlifting. And that differs from when I'm training real athletes, normal athletes, like the divers that I work with. It differs in their training a bunch because weightlifting isn't their sport. So in here, we're training for adaptations specific to diving, not movements specific to diving, right?
Yeah.
So I want them to be able to jump higher. I want them to be able to lock out their arms better and withstand that impact from 10 meters better. So like the philosophies change based on the athlete, and then it also changes based on whether it's a rehab client or not.
Yeah.
If it's a rehab client, it's like, all right, we just need to get back to pain-free movement, and then we can worry about like programming from a like macro standpoint, or like actually doing some type of periodization.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to periodize rehab. You're trying to hope for more of a linear progression.
Yeah.
Whereas we all know in weightlifting and sports performance, that's just not a thing.
Yeah, I think there was like couple months I had linear progression in weightlifting, and then it was just nothing was the same.
Yeah. The first 6 months of weightlifting is pretty linear. After that, it's a fucking roller coaster.
It's I don't even know what to compare it to as far as a graph, but it is anything but linear.
Yeah.
But
Is that because I know did you run or throw in college?
I was a thrower in college, yeah.
So I'm assuming it's relatively similar to that. Like
more than you know.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing about, we used to, getting to IU, like I said, I came in for discus, right? And so discus was a thing where like I just feel like very much like weightlifting, like I'm sure it's like plateau.
Yeah.
Like you get in there like plateau. Sometimes you would have like little clicks where you would add a couple meters or something like that here and there. But then it'd be like plateau. It just takes so much as your career goes on, just like so much harder to add, just even would feel like inches at a time. But I remember picking up hammer throw, and then that got to be the new thing. So I just felt like that was like what was feeding my my desire, because like it's grueling to just train in, day out, just to add inches to your distance. But then get to go do hammer, you're like, oh, my technique, like I just did one thing different today and I threw 10 feet farther. It was awesome. And so, yeah, definitely we got to like juggle having that linear part with hammer, but then also discus was just like maybe here or there. So, yes, more than you know, throwing was so infuriating because of the nonlinear progression that you felt with it.
I kind of figured it was a very similar thing, just based on the difference that I see as an outsider into throwing is you guys compete so much more frequently.
Yeah.
That there's not as big of like a drop off after each competition, so you have to maintain a certain level of readiness for a lot longer of a period of time.
Correct.
Whereas like for me, especially in weightlifting, only competing 2 or 3 times a year, it's like after a meet, I like don't touch anything close to 90% for a few weeks. So I can kind of let my body really recover, or at least try to. As stubborn as I am, that doesn't always happen. But
yeah,
you have the opportunity more so in weightlifting to like back off a little bit than you do in like discus training.
Well, it's almost like, so it's like in essence, weightlifting and throwing are kind of like half the same, right? But it's like if you took throwing would be like if you took half of what makes weightlifting, or half of what makes throwing, and had that, you would also like add like swimming. It's like you always just have to kind of like be like prepped. Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of tapering for a big meet or something like that, but at all times you're probably not getting too far off of your numbers, right? To where like it feels like weightlifting is like half of what throwing is, but like with MMA.
Yeah. Right. Where you need that recovery time after a fight.
You need the recovery time. You need like that progression to like get ready for something, cut weight, and all that stuff. Like throwers, we're not worried about weight. We're all out there as like super heavyweights. Yeah. We can go weigh in, but like we're just hoping that maybe we got more, like so we're heavier than the last time we competed.
Yeah, right? You're hoping to gain weight each time.
I mean that was the struggle for me. It was like
really
I was the smallest of all the throwers.
That's why I didn't know if you were a thrower, because I thought you were a thrower.
Yeah,
but I was like, you more have like a sprinting body.
Yeah, I mean if you look at my photos from back then, I definitely was like I said a little bit bigger than I am now. So I would sit like around like probably, I'm like 105, 106.
Okay.
kilos. Sorry, everybody that doesn't know what
Yeah.
that is. 230.
I don't speak in pounds anymore. It's
Yeah,
been a
it's not
decade.
even, it's
Sorry.
not even worth it anymore. But like back then I was like somewhere like probably like 110, 112.
Gotcha.
A little fluffier for sure. To where like, but yeah, like I said, I remember days being like, time to go home and eat a pizza because the thing is you're also like practicing for like 3, maybe
Yeah.
4 hours a day.
Plus weights.
And plus weights, plus you're walking to all your classes.
Yeah.
And when you were like a fat ass, like I was like you, that takes a lot of energy to get from class to
didn't
class.
have all the electric scooters back then.
There were no scooters, there were no birds, nothing. Like I said, it was just us walking. And I just remember I was like, God, I was like, at this point, I was like, I don't know how people keep their weight up.
Yeah.
Because like I can't get past like 110, 112. I was like, I feel like I'm eating everything. I'm like, and obviously poorly. Like we're talking about like a 20-year-old. I'm just like,
you don't care. You're
20-year-old
trying to get
college kid.
calories.
I'm just like, I just need calories. I need to get to 6K calories today.
Yeah.
I was like, and I just sitting there eating peanut butter and drinking vitamin D milk and like
Till it's done.
calling Papa John's again. Here we go.
Had Papa John's last night.
There you
I
go.
had some friends over to watch the fights.
Yeah,
and
nice.
So I just ordered some pizza.
It was. I don't think it's the same anymore. I mean, might be a really hot take here on the podcast today, but I think Papa John's is kind of falling off.
Better watch out, Papa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, I don't eat chain pizza that often. I try to go like local pizza, but
yeah,
Papa John's is literally right down the street. So it's like, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it doesn't taste the same.
Or maybe it's just because you had more pizza. I mean, she lives in Paris. There's some fire pizza in Europe.
that's true. Like I said, maybe I'm just a snob now.
Yeah.
But like,
I'm definitely a pizza snob.
But this is the thing. Okay. Now we're turning this into a rant.
I love it.
But the thing is that like if you're in a sport that is defined by like what your like you said body weight is important, and like I said, I have a cheat meal. I'm not trying to fuck around with some shitty ass pizza. Like I was like, I saved for this, man. I was like, I don't. That's the thing is like I had a donut I think a couple weeks ago, and it was from a place I was thinking like Columbus, Indiana. Like I don't want to put them on blast. They'll never see this, but I bit into it. I'm like, this isn't even worth the calories.
Yeah.
I was like, it's just not that good.
Yeah.
And so
you want a bomb donut.
Yeah.
Parlor Donuts down here is fire, by the way.
Was it?
Parlor Donuts?
Yes. Yeah. Shout out Parlor. Parlor always does it right.
They're so good.
Yeah, I've never had a bad experience with Parlor Donuts. Not a sponsor. Reach out. But no, God, it's like I don't want to waste my calories if I have to watch what my weight is to a certain degree, right? That's like I don't even know how we got on this topic, but like
because we're both fat and like food. That's
yeah, I'm supposed to be cutting to 88 right now. This is crazy.
88, that sounds miserable. My first meet was at 81.
That's
which
wild.
is insane to think about weighing 81 kilos. That's victim weight at this point.
Yeah, I can't imagine you 81.
No, terrifying.
Let's see, where are you sitting at right now?
Like 105.
105.
Yeah, that's where I woke up yesterday. I weighed myself.
So you're obviously building.
Well, I'm just trying to. I'm not cutting down to 94. So
that's what I'm saying. I was like, all of us that are somewhere like at 105, we're just kind of like, well,
102 was perfect. I'm so mad they got rid of it. It was perfect for me.
And see, that was the entire intention for me. It was like I knew they were going to change the weight classes, right? And I was like, man, I really hope they bring something up back in the middle. But like 102 is fine. Somewhere between 96 and 110. I was like, somewhere. It's got to be some class that's going to be somewhere in the middle there. 94.
Yeah, insane.
It's 16 kilo.
110 is like, it's fine. I'm just never going to fill out 110 because I refuse to just be morbidly obese. I'm not, like, you're tall enough that you could fill it out and still look good. I'm at 5'10". Me to weigh 245 is sleep apnea central.
Well, there's that, joints, just walking around.
They already hurt, so.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like you're just going to be adding another 5 kilos onto that.
Yeah, for
sure. And the thing is that like people, you might be like, for all you lifetime skinnies out there, like people might think like, oh, like you're already at 105. How's 110 going to feel that different? Even like 1 kilo sometimes I can tell when I'm getting close to that 110 threshold.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
these stairs don't look fun.
These stairs don't look fun. I'm sweating in the air-conditioned room.
Yeah.
The meat sweats, as we used to always call them.
Yeah.
It's like sitting in, we would sit in lectures, right? And they always had those plastic chairs that you sat in.
The worst chairs possible.
And you just like get up and you're like, I'm sorry for the
My
next
bad.
person that has to say here. It's gonna be rough. Sorry, guys. Oh man, oh man. So huge tangent. Love it. We're here for it. But I
Right.
guess to get back to the, to what's at hand. Um, one thing, because you operate in two different spaces between lifting and rehab protocol, that there's a lot of myths out there that happen between both. So, as somebody that's probably had to sit through so much bullshit in their career, if you had to think of one that was like the biggest one that exists between, you can even do one for rehab and lifting, or if there's just one that outlying one that you see altogether, talk about that. So, but what's probably the biggest one that you've had to come up against?
Well, as a Chiro, the biggest piece of nonsense information that we get is that you're moving bones back into place, or that like you're out of alignment and we can put you back in alignment.
Yeah.
Absolute nonsense. So that's probably the one that's most propagated in, at least in my space, that I try to like combat. As far as lifting goes, I feel like people undervalue strength work more than anything. Like, especially in weightlifting, people really preach technical changes and like technical mastery. When it's like, if you can't squat a certain number, it's like you're just not gonna lift big weights.
Yeah.
So if you're skipping squats to do some tall snatches, like you're missing the point. Like weightlifting is still a strength sport. And if you're skipping your strength work, you're just missing out on everything. I know technical changes and all this technique work is like what's sexy on the internet and social media, whatever. But like,
never thought we'd be here, by the way, but we are. Just
Yeah.
with like technique work being the sexy thing. When
yeah,
I feel like
insanity.
but it is
It's like
yeah,
Clarence kind of blew up internet weightlifting, right?
yeah,
With doing massive squats, like a 310 kilo cloud squat. He didn't blow up doing tall snatches.
yeah.
He's like, doing tall snatches didn't make him snatch 195. It's because he was an incredibly strong human. I don't get where we got to the point that people spend so much time working in the 50 to 70% range and then not doing hard squatting.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Well, to me, it's like it kind of makes sense, like in the analogy of like it's like having like a McLaren with a Fiat engine in it,
Yeah.
right? Because it's just like, okay, like you got this tuned suspension, you got all this this cool shit in your car or whatever. That it's like, but then you put like a little baby engine.
Yeah,
in it.
you don't have the horsepower for it to matter.
Yeah, you're never gonna actually be able to use that technique to its greatest potential because the engine you're working with is tiny, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because don't get me wrong, like, and this is where it's very much like the throwing scene as well, as like to be the best of the best, you have to have both, obviously, right? But people have put so much overemphasis on technique and working away from power and strength. It's just like, guys, but it's just like that's the thing. It's like, wow, that 60 kilos moved really well.
Yeah.
Like I got to give it to you. Like, and like, don't get me wrong. I guess like that is no shame if you like I said that's what you like snatch or whatever. It's just a matter of the argument at hand is that like, but you to actually progress is like what now though? Like if you're gonna put weight on the bar and compete at a higher level, like you have to still push the power side, the strength side, and people just lean away from that more than ever now and think that technique's just gonna get them there.
Yeah. Basically, in every sport out there, all things being equal, the stronger athlete's going to win. It can be baseball, it can be diving, it can be throwing, weightlifting. Like, all things equal, the stronger athlete's going to win.
Yeah.
And part of it might be because getting stronger is harder than doing your technique work. Like, on a day-to-day basis, it's really hard to do a max effort 5x5, but it's much easier to do a bunch of tall snatches at 40 kilos. Like, so people think that they're going to make the same amount of progress from those two separate exercises, and they're always going to pick the easier one, or a lot of them are going to pick the easier one of those options, where the one that's actually going to work is doing a really hard strength block and keeping your tech and trying to keep your technique as good as possible while getting stronger, not trying to improve your technique while keeping your strength at a reasonable number, like maintaining your strength.
No, 100%. Yeah, because it's like, And that's why, like, you see, like, I think that's why it's always way more fun too, like, even weightlifting, to like watch the stronger athlete perform,
Yeah.
like a Tian Tao kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like Tian Tao, like, you know, like with cardiac, what's his nickname?
Tian Heart Attack Tao.
Tian Heart Attack Tao, right? Like, that's what makes him so exhilarating to watch.
For
It's
sure.
like he might not move the way he needs to make the lift happen, but you know he is more than strong and capable of making it happen.
And he's gonna put himself in the race. Like,
Yeah,
he can pull out that squat jerk.
yeah,
You know he's gonna clean it.
yeah,
It's just, all right, is he gonna be able to make this jerk or not?
yep.
But if he can't put himself in that race because he squats 320 kilos. So if he's not putting himself in a situation to be able to just do those numbers or give himself the opportunity to, it doesn't matter if he clean and jerks 190 really well. It matters that he clean and jerks 230.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. I was like, yeah, you made 190 look really good, but like you need 40 more kilos on that bar to win. So got to bridge the gap somehow.
It's interesting. It looks like he's coming back.
Is he?
Yeah, it looks like he's still training with.
I hope so, because like I said, I don't want him to retire.
No, me neither. He's a lot of fun. I mean, I get it. He's had a few shoulder surgeries and like back issues, but he's a lot of fun to watch, and I think he makes Team China more interesting because he's like one of the few. Him and she like actually have like personalities online, whereas most of the Chinese team is very militant.
Yeah.
So I like watching his videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's doing a lot of training with like Li Wanhua right now.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch.
Tian, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on as the next guest. We love what you're doing. Please keep competing.
The most recent video on Liu Xiaojun, he like speaks a little bit of English. It's really funny.
Say less, Tian. We're right here. Creature's waiting for you. We know you take creatine at least. So
at least.
So obviously, we're talking more about the rehab side now. You obviously have to deal with a lot of your athletes that have to go through these hard situations where maybe they do occur an injury or that some kind of setback, because like that's inevitable when you're in this space. But you as a coach, like what do you like to do for your athletes? I'm sure it's curtailed differently to each athlete that you work with, but like when it comes to maintaining the momentum, moving forward and progressing, like what do you like to do once they have a setback? Like how do you keep them on track? Like what's kind of like your mentality to help them continue to progress, rather like maybe outside of obviously weightlifting, because like you guys can't train the same.
Yeah.
But like how do you keep their mindset in the game?
Do you mean more for just my weightlifting clients?
It doesn't have to be, like just athletes in general, I guess, you know.
Well, so I mean, to be fair, most of my rehab clients online are in the weightlifting space in some capacity, whether it's they work with a barbell, right? Whether it's powerlifting, CrossFit, weightlifting. A vast majority of my clients are barbell sport athletes. So the goal is always get them back to performance, right? So I always try to make rehab look as close to training as I can, so they don't feel like they're, spending their life doing banded external rotations or banded clamshells on the PT table, right? Like I want their rehab to look close to training. So it keeps them bought in, keeps them intrigued, and we can track progress better. Like I don't care if you can do a clamshell with the red band 1 week and then a whatever color the next band is the next week. I want to know how much better or how much closer are we getting to doing full squats or full cleans or full whatever your goal is. Like that stuff's much more easy to track. And it makes them feel like they're getting closer to their goal each week. Whereas like, okay, if you're doing the traditional physical therapy route, all of your work is in a physical therapy studio. When I worked in a PT clinic, the heaviest weight we had was like a 15-pound kettlebell. So that's not doing anything for barbell sport athletes. So yeah, that's my biggest philosophy, and that's how I keep them kind of
bought in.
Bought in and feeling like they're still continuing to work towards a goal that's not just pain-free. It's continuing to work on a fitness goal. And we can still work around most injuries to feel like you're doing some hard work in some capacity. Like if you have a knee injury, we can still do a bunch of pressing and a bunch of pull-ups and a bunch of something. So something is progressing in the downtime as opposed to just taking that time completely off to focus on rehabbing my knee. It's like, all right, well, what other qualities can we improve
Mm-hmm.
while we're trying to give this knee time to heal and rehab the knee,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right, that makes sense. No, I guess I never thought about it like that, but yeah, like I guess half of the battle is making the athlete feel like they're not really operating outside of the environment they were already in,
For sure.
right? It's like, hey, maybe you're not doing this movement, but we're still like adjacent, so
Yeah.
you don't feel like you're just like there's this disconnect.
For
So I
sure.
feel like you're still in the same environment. It's kind of like recreating the environment so they feel a little bit more, I don't know, in tune with what they're working towards.
And I feel like that's the biggest benefit with finding a good like remote therapist or remote coach is you don't have to cancel your gym membership for 3 months to go do rehab at a physical therapy clinic. It's like, yeah, show me what I have to work with in your gym. Like, take a video of your gym. I do this with every single client that I have. It's like, all right, take a video of your gym so I know what equipment I have to work with, and I'll program your rehab around what equipment you have at the gym. You still get to keep your social circle, which is huge, to be honest.
Yes.
Like, that's a huge thing for keeping,
Support group,
yeah, like,
more or
and
less.
keeping acute pain patients from becoming chronic pain patients is like keeping their social group, trying not to disrupt their daily routines, and try to make them feel like they're not missing out on life because of their injury. This happens a lot with low back patients is like, all right, well, I don't feel like I could play with my kids, or I don't feel like I can go to the gym. I can't go golf. Like those are super common in my practice. And it's like, hey, I want you to go golf. Maybe we can't do a long drive contest today, but can you go work on chipping and putting? It's like, yeah, that's an awesome micro goal that we can still get work in, feel like we're making progress towards your goal. And you can still like hang out in your social circle, still feel like your life is not put on hold to
Right.
rehab this injury.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with weightlifting. Like you're dealing with a knee injury or hip, back, shoulder, whatever. It's like, all right, well, if it's shoulder, I'm just gonna work really hard on squatting right now and then do the rehab for the shoulder. You still get to go to the gym. You still get to feel like you're working really hard. Like your life's not disrupted from the injury and continue to progress.
Yeah, it's just like damage control at that
Yeah,
point.
for sure.
Yeah. No, it's simple but ingenious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never really thought about it that way, but yeah, think about it moving forward when I have things going on instead of just being all bought in or all bought out, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
It's never 0 or 100. It's always like, all right, well, we can do 70% normal training and then the other 30%'s to rehab or vice versa at some points. But
yeah.
trying not to get too far away from the athlete's like normal sport or activity is super important.
No, definitely paramount. Yeah, that makes absolute sense. So this is gonna be a clarifying question. I think this is that everybody needs to have this clarified to them, and we can't think of anybody else that would be better to do it for us. But for everyone, can you explain the difference between mobility, flexibility, and stability, and which ones lifters should prioritize?
So I'm going to rephrase that question a little bit. So what I kind of base my programming around, particularly for rehab, is mobility, stability, and strength. And they go in that order. So like if you don't have the mobility for a position, then we can't be stable in that position. And if we can't be stable in that position, we can't produce force in that position. So if the bottom of your squat is bad, we need to work on the mobility required to be able to get into that position. Then we need to be able to improve stability in that position. Like, all right, can you tolerate load in a back squat and a front squat? What happens if if it's not perfect and you get a little out of position? Is your body stable enough to withstand that change in position? Are you stable? And then, all right, well, once your stability is good in those positions in each joint, then we can start to really just focus on force production. Now, it's never only mobility, then only stability, then only strength. It's like we're still trying to work on the continuum, but a vast majority of the work is going to be put into the bucket that you're most missing.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's like one truly unlocks the other that gets to the next one. It's like the hierarchy of needs
For sure.
at first, and then go back and it said readjust depending on which one you need of the three once you have them, I suppose.
Yeah, and like, and if you're trying to only build a ton of strength, like if you're trying to do a bunch of strength work when you can't get into the positions properly, like you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, or that's the
More
likelihood of you
likely.
getting
Yeah.
hurt is much higher. So like if we can make sure the mobility and stability stuff is taken care of first before we really try to increase power output, then the likelihood of getting hurt is much less because you're able to tolerate load in those positions. Your resilience is just higher. Your ability to tolerate training is higher. I mean, that's kind of my philosophy around programming rehab and programming in general. And a lot of that comes from a company called Prescript. That's a lot of my training philosophy has come from their like podcast and their educational platform, but they'll tell you that they're like, guys, we're just as dumb as you are. We just talk on the internet a lot.
Yeah.
Like you maybe shouldn't always listen to us,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Jordan, it's Jordan Shallow and Jordan Junta. So the Jordans are incredibly smart. Their podcast is awesome. Get a lot of good info. This a little bit biased because I have worked for them, like getting their continuing education courses online and approved for Chiro continuing education. And that was a super selfish endeavor. I didn't want to take continuing education that was like completely worthless. So I was like, hey, can I take this course for free if I get it approved for continuing education for Kairos? And they're like, yeah, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
so I did that selfishly, but it also
Nice.
helps out a bunch of Kairos to not have to take annoying continuing education. It's going to be helpful.
I find that more like one hand washes the other kind
Yeah,
of
for
situation.
sure.
Help me.
I mean,
help you.
they were grateful, and I was too, because I got 12 hours of Con Ed, and it's a ton of good information, and the course is insane. Not to completely go off on a tangent plugging
No,
Prescript,
You're good.
but it's a
Look straight in the camera.
but it's a 16-week course. Yeah, it's 16 weeks of live lectures that are recorded. You get a bunch of breakout lab groups, so you can like there's a weightlifting section, like a just sports performance section where the lecture for that week, which is based more around like anatomy and physiology, and then the breakout sessions are to how do I incorporate this into programming for my athletes in this specific sport. So it's an incredible course, and I'm lucky to be friends with them. But yeah, that was super selfish on my end because I didn't want to take crappy continuing education.
No, I mean, like I said, I don't find it selfish at all. I think it's intelligent. Like I said, of
Yeah.
you, like an intelligent move. So, oh man, But
Big brain moves over here.
yeah, got to keep making those big brain. Like I said, work smarter, not harder.
Paid a
right?
lot of money for this brain. Try to put it to good use.
You
at
might
some
as
point.
well. I mean, you might as well, man. Okay, so just so if you had to say, like this is going back on the rehab side a little bit.
Okay.
So are there any overlying red flags for people like to obviously this is probably going to come up more when you're working with your athletes. That what are the like, usual red flags that you see with them when you can tell that they need either a break or just like to take time off?
I mean, I rarely say time off completely is the answer. Almost in no situation is an injury better from just completely taking time off. Now, there are some situations like if you have like a full tendon tear or like a full muscle avulsion, like obviously you're just gonna have to take time off. Or if it's post surgery, like depending on the surgery, sometimes you just can't do a bunch of rehab quite yet. So time off is the answer. But in my office and like the setting that I work, almost never is rest going to be the answer. Also, that just delays them getting back to the activity, and like we had talked about earlier, it gets them out of their routine and out of their daily life. So the odds of that injury becoming a chronic issue is more likely in that situation. So I try to get people back to training and doing whatever activity I'm helping them rehab for, basically as quickly as possible. Yeah, I don't think time off is almost ever the answer.
Okay. Yeah, time off only really comes up if it is something just Like you can't use it at all.
Or you're just so mentally burnt out that you just need a break, because that definitely happens. Like
Oh yeah.
a lot of the Olympians after the Olympics, because it's such a grueling process to qualify for the Olympics and like so mentally draining that a lot of them take 6 months off because they need time away from the sport because it's been crushing them for the past 4 years.
Yeah. They got 3.5 years before they have to really be ready again.
Especially in sports that aren't weightlifting. Weightlifting really kind of screws up the qualification process for the athletes because you almost have to be in Olympic shape 2 years out from the Olympics to even have a chance to make it.
Yeah.
Because you have to compete like 6 times in the 2 years before the Olympics. And the teams are so competitive to make, particularly in the US, that you have to be in like peak shape 2 years away from the Olympics. So like back in the day when, at least in weightlifting, when like Ilya, like 2012, that when Ilya was competing, like, they would take 2 years off after the Olympics. So, and then just get back in shape to do 1 or 2 qualifying meets and then be ready for the Olympics.
Yeah.
And obviously the drug use was much
Different.
more back then, which
Yeah.
is why they've changed the qualification procedures. But
Yeah.
I feel like that was better for longevity for a lot of those athletes and just for their mental health.
Peaking is hard. So having to peak for 2 meets versus 6 is huge difference.
And traveling, like none of those meets are close to anybody. They're all over the world, like 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Plus all the national meets that you have to do to qualify for those meets. It's like, it's a grueling process.
Well, that's the thing is like, I think a lot of people forget too, is that these athletes are traveling, right? And I never competed like in an international level, but you're competing nationally, like, across the US is like, I never forget the difference between having to compete in a local meet, like within like an hour or two, or at home, and like when we were at IU, versus someplace that was, like out of state, right? Like we competed like, here, there, everywhere, but I definitely remember competing at Alabama and just being drained because it was like, I didn't sleep well. We were traveling, didn't eat well when we first got there because I couldn't like this was probably like 2014. And like, so I think all options we had to order food when we got there was like Jimmy John's was the only thing open. So you just ate Jimmy John's, went to bed, woke up the next day, had to compete. It's just like, they're like, I think it's a little bit easier, especially when you get to a certain level, that you're going to have more resources and be like better in tune to get
Hopefully.
those. Yeah. Hopefully, because
depending on
that's
the
not
country.
always true, right? Or the sport.
Yeah, or the sport.
But the thing was, it's just like, oh my gosh, there's like having to juggle traveling versus just being at the meet where you need to be is a big difference.
Yeah.
And it causes so many different variables. And so, but these people are competing internationally, different time zones, completely different like cultural like food available as well. Like that's a huge thing too.
Away from your families, sleeping in hotel beds. Like it's especially like some of the big meets like world championships and the Olympics, it's like they'll go on a training camp before the meet, and then so they can be gone for like a month or two away from your normal routine, away from your like that's draining. And if you're doing that 2 or 3 times a year,
Yep.
it's like over the course of a quad,
that's a lot.
It gets exhausting.
Yeah.
So I definitely get when those like when they take time off, it's definitely understandable. But from like a small injury, like a non-surgical injury, like you don't necessarily need a ton of time completely off. We just need to make smart decisions around training and make sure you're doing the right rehab stuff.
Some adjustments. Just gotta adjust.
Yeah.
Really with what you have at hand. Yeah. So, but when it comes to like the rehab side as well, like, do you think that in general people are like underdoing or overdoing recovery work?
Overdoing for sure. All the ice baths and saunas and all that stuff is like, it's just more work that you have to recover from. Like if you're doing an hour yoga session after every training session, it's like that's just another hour of work that you have to recover from. It's like, go sit on the couch and watch TV, like scroll through TikTok, I don't care. But that's going to do way more for most people's recovery than trying to do a 45-minute long like morning routine or post-workout routine. It's just, I think a lot of people, and it's most of that's due to commercialism. Like they're just promoting selling their sauna, promoting selling, the cold tubs. It's like, so it gets popular because of economic reasons,
Mm-hmm.
capitalism.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of people just overdo it. Or like, I'm just gonna do what do they call active recovery?
Well, I was gonna say, how do you feel
Damn it.
about active recovery
God
then?
damn it. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go ride an assault bike for 45 minutes. It's like, okay, what are we doing? It's 45
So
minutes
you're
of
just
zone 2 stuff that you have to recover from now.
yeah, you're still just doing cardio then.
Yeah.
You're doing lifts at that point.
Yeah. Like I'd rather you just go do like a whole snatch workout with just the bar than go do 45 minutes on an assault bike or on a
Yeah.
whatever stationary bike.
We're not training to be a state. Was it? Almost I said state 2, not state 2. Zone 2.
Yeah, zone 2.
Zone 2 athlete. So I was
Yeah.
like, what are we doing?
Hybrid athlete. That's the
Yeah.
new hot topic now.
Getting ready for high rocks.
Yeah. Blaine McConnell's made everybody think they're hybrid athletes.
Man. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Blaine, maybe 4,440 clean and jerk 200. You might be a hybrid athlete, but everybody else, stop it.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like I guess like everybody is a hybrid athlete to a sense, in a way, but like
Just
a
bad-
good one.
Bad ones.
I was like, yeah, you could, whatever. You could guess, you could say that, you could claim that, but it's like,
Yeah.
but
I can go shoot some free throws, but
yeah, I'm not a basketball player.
I'm not a hybrid athlete.
I'm not in the NBA.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Although, if doing whatever LeBron snatch deadlifts,
oh my
if
god,
that's all it takes to make the NBA,
play
then,
that clip.
yeah, then
That's-
call me Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
because
And, oh my gosh, LeBron
It's
doing his
high-level
snatch
training.
grip, deadlift, pulls. I
that's-
don't even know what that was.
Well, nobody knows what that. His trainer doesn't know what that was. I don't know who let him post that.
Yeah.
That's mind blowing.
Yeah, that slipped through somehow. 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. I was just like, having played basketball, having done weightlifting, now have done a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm like, I don't know where that fits in any of it.
Like, and I know NBA strength coaches
Yeah.
personally, and none of them would ever have their athletes do that stuff. So, I mean, props to LeBron's trainer for giving him nonsense and getting paid $250,000 a year. But
Yeah, LeBron, if you need a new trainer, I'm right here.
Jesus Christ, I mean, go to LA Fitness. They're not
Yeah,
gonna have you doing
yeah.
that shit.
I could program those all day if that's what you want. If the money is right.
Bro,
Easy.
And Will kind of pointed it out that he's pretty sure it was a technique bar too. Like if you watch how it bounces on the bench when he puts it down, it's like that's definitely not a 20-kilo bar.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that was like one of the Eleiko technique bars
Okay, nice.
with the marshmallows on it.
Literally nothing was right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Insane.
I mean, I woke up that morning and I was like, that's not what I thought was going to be on my
when
feed.
I saw it, I knew it was gonna blow up. Like,
Yeah.
I knew the internet was gonna have a heyday with it. So I was like, well, I'm getting in on this. Thanks.
Mm. So besides for that movement that LeBron was doing, if there was one, if there's one drill or protocol that you could give your lifters to stay injury free, you're like, doesn't have to be your lifters per se, but like I said, your clients, what would you give them as far as a protocol?
I mean, don't have the expectation that you're going to be injury free because it's unrealistic. Like everybody deals with some sort of pain at one point in time or another. Like even if you just take low back pain, whether you're sedentary or not, 90% of the US population deals with back pain at one point in their life or another. So it's like having the grand idea that you're just going to be injury free is almost impossible. So get that out of your head. It's just, all right, don't catastrophize it when you do have a small setback. It's like, all right, I'll be fine. I just need to give it time, do the right things, like just train somewhat intelligently and
Load management.
Things are going to be yeah. The problem is when people say load management and preach load management, it's like, all right, what does that mean for normal people? Like they're not tracking tonnage. They're not doing the things necessary to actually track load management.
For more sedentary people, that's a hard thing to quantify.
Or not even sedentary people, just like normal gym bros.
Okay.
Like most people, like most average gym goers aren't trying to train to make a national championships. They just want to be able to train and play with their kids and like go golf on the weekends with their friends and like live a moderately healthy lifestyle. But even those people are going like the odds of them having some type of musculoskeletal injury is relatively high.
Yeah.
Like pickleball, for example. Like that has kept a lot of orthos in business because a bunch of people went from doing absolutely nothing to playing a few hours of pickleball a few times a week. Yeah. And so Achilles tears, calf strains, like shoulder issues, it's just going to happen. But there's always a solution. You just don't catastrophize it and don't have it in your head that you're for sure doing something wrong if you do get hurt. It's like shit just happens. Yeah. It's just keep moving forward if you can.
Yeah, I think we had somebody on the pod before. It's just like, don't take it. Some people take it so personally, right? Yeah. And hold on to it. It's just like, it happens. It's just a part of the process. It's like, I think, and I know that you feel this way, like since having done sports in college, doing weightlifting to whatever level I do it at, I can't think of a moment that I haven't had some kind of like somewhat nagging injury at like every point of that, right? Yeah. Is like, yeah, maybe, you know, most of it's been my knees for years right now, but like every time I walk into the gym at some point, there's always something that definitely doesn't feel 100%.
Yeah.
Or like definitely feels like something's going wrong, or it's like something needs to be worked on, or something I need to like change something, whatever. But it's just like, that's part of the process to like a certain degree. It's like a part of the process. You're not gonna feel 100%. Hardly ever. And then when you do, just like if you do feel really good, just enjoy that day, because those days are rare when you're putting in 5 days a week, right?
Yeah.
Even 4 days a week, whatever, like whatever your workout schedule looks like, or even maybe if you don't work out, right? To a certain degree. But like rarely, if ever, you're just like, wow, I slept perfect. Nothing hurts. Everything's great. I lifted great. Because even some days where you do feel like your body's great, like you don't move well.
Yeah. Or like, vice versa. When you feel like absolute trash can,
you do move well.
Yeah, you end
up
it's
just like, what the hell happened today? But it's just, it's a part of the process. Like I said, you're trying to compete, you're trying to be an athlete, you're trying to, whatever you're trying to do, is like rarely will you feel great.
Yeah.
It's just don't, like you said, don't catastrophize it.
And if you only lift on the days you feel good, you're gonna lift like 3 times a year. So.
Yeah. Especially when you get a little bit older too.
Yeah.
It's just like those days get rarer and
turn 33 in a few weeks. Like pushing big weights as you get older definitely takes its toll, and that's something that I've had to be a little bit more mindful about lately, just because I have had a couple like back-to-back nagging injuries, but I still just don't miss training. I still just go do something. I mean, to be fair, I spent a ton of money on this garage, so letting it sit here would be my wife would not be thrilled. So I feel obligated to do something. Also, I would just go insane if I got done with work and then just sat on the couch until bedtime. Like I would actually go insane.
What's the thing is, like, if you were raised like doing some kind of sport, being some kind of athlete or whatever, it just feels like a void in your day if it's not something, not some part of it is geared towards some kind of athletic endeavor, right?
Or just a goal in general. It doesn't even have to be necessarily like athletically involved, but like I know a bunch of like car guys.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, if you've worked on cars your whole life and you don't have a car to work on when you come home from work, it's like, all right, what are you doing? Looking on the internet to figure out which car I want to fix next. Yeah. It's the same mindset. It's just I'm the car that I want to work on.
Yeah, exactly. We're just the cars that we want to work on out here. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I've been looking at like do you watch Matt Armstrong videos at all? He does like, he'll buy like supercars that were salvaged and then rebuild them in 24 hours or rebuild them in whatever. But it's always supercars. But he makes it look so easy. And it's like, man, I bet I could do that.
Yeah.
So find myself looking at like crashed Porsches. Like, what are you doing, Trevor? You cannot, like, you don't know what you're doing here. Don't make it, don't act like you do.
So if you guys were wondering what Trevor does in his free time when he's not weightlifting,
looking at crashed Ferraris on the internet.
That's not what I thought was going to come up in today's pod. But that's Trevor's hobby right now for all you guys need to know. So we're going to get on to our next thing here. This is going to be a quick fire round.
Okay.
I hope you're ready. I'm going to
I remember this last time, but I completely forget what the questions were. So this will be interesting.
The first one I already know the answer, but I'm just gonna let him answer it anyway. Favorite lift: snatch or clean and jerk?
Snatch.
Whoa!
Shocking.
Oh,
I
mind
could,
blown.
to make this not as rapid as a rapid fire round, but when I retire, I'll probably still snatch and back squat forever. But the moment I'm done competing, I will not do another clean and jerk. I just don't like
He's
them.
not a clean and jerk stand,
No.
everybody. If that wasn't made clear by the
Also
rest of
why
the podcast,
I'm bad at them.
it's hard to succeed in something you don't like.
Yeah.
But worst injury you've ever rehabbed yourself from?
When I dropped that bar on my leg,
Oh,
175 kilos. You can insert that clip.
yeah, roll that clip.
That's the one that definitely took the longest to come back from. But on the topic of earlier, like I was in the gym the next day doing muscle snatches.
Yeah.
So it's like you can always do something.
Yeah, that was a good example of like what you were saying. What's one rehab tool you swear by?
Exercise.
Whoa!
Again, shocking.
Thinking outside the box, everybody. You thought he was going to say
Snapping
massage
necks.
gun.
Yeah. Adjustments are the only thing they're going to make you better.
You mispronounced cold plunge.
Yeah.
Go to pre-lift hype song.
Watching training hall videos. I don't really.
Yeah, you know what? I feel that there's nothing better than watching an old training hall video before you go lift. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to explain it to the people that don't do Olympic weightlifting, but there's nothing like it. It's like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, it's not. I used to listen to music like before baseball games and stuff.
Yeah.
But for weightlifting, like watching old training hall videos and watching someone snatch like 200 kilos in the training hall gets me more fired up to train than any music ever could.
Yeah, I think one of my favorites is the one where it's like Ilya is like I want to say I think he's snatching from blocks.
Yeah.
Those rounded out blocks. It's one of my favorite ones to go to. Like he misses a couple and but he just like he waves and he keeps going up again.
That's a great video.
Great video.
Have you watched that whole training like documentary like from top to bottom?
I don't think so.
He starts that training documentary where he's doing like 120 snatches of like missing 130 snatches.
Yeah.
And then just because he does like Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. And then each video, it's like, oh, he looks a little bit better here. Oh, he looks a little bit better here. And then it's from like 130 to 180 snatches in like a month. You're like, how the fuck does he?
This man was out here missing 120s and 130s and he just put 50 kilos on it within a calendar month. It's crazy. Yes, definitely agree. I think all the weightlifters watching will definitely agree with you. Okay, morning mobility or evening recovery? I know how you feel about this already, but go ahead.
Just sit on the couch and watch some TV with some Fairlife chocolate milk. Yeah. That's
chalky
evening recovery.
Everybody's going to tell you chalky milk is the best thing that you can have in your life, apparently.
Yeah. Natural steroids.
Yeah, truly. Dream athlete you'd love to work on?
To work on?
Yeah. Work with either. Change it, whatever preposition you want to throw in there. Use it.
I don't really have like a dream athlete per se, but I just want to be on the Olympic staff, on the medical staff for the Olympics. Talk to USA Track and Field, USA Diving, and USA Weightlifting. So somebody figure it out.
Yeah. He's right here, guys. Right there. Look, he's right there on that camera. That camera right there.
I talked to Mike about it like last week, and he was supposed to connect me with our new medical officer, but haven't heard anything yet. So hopefully that comes soon.
So fingers crossed. Yeah. Hurry up, Mike. Get with them. Okay. So just a couple of final thoughts here. So what's one mindset shift that changed the way you train or you treat your clients that you've gotten over time?
As far as treating clients goes, I think getting away from that insurance-based model was huge because I felt like I could spend way more time with athletes and way less time doing documentation and fighting with insurance companies for reimbursement.
Yeah.
I can
doing a lot more what you wanted to do.
Yeah, much more higher quality care. It's very much a blend of like healthcare and coaching, which is what I think rehab should be.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then, so I guess more or less that's really all I got for you today.
Sweet.
Mean, this is round 2 of this one for us guys.
Yeah.
But just
round 2, take 1. Is that how that's gonna?
Round 2, take 1. That's what we're gonna call this one. But yeah, just so everybody out there that's watching, tuning in, where can they find you? Reach out to work with you if they want to, or just learn more about your content.
Yeah, really just Instagram. I don't do TikTok. I'm old, so I just post
Guilty.
yeah. I'm old enough to not do TikTok, but not old enough to post things on Facebook. So Instagram is where I live. So yeah, just Dr. Trevor Kim on Instagram. It's the easiest place.
Okay. And so you got any final words for everybody that just said anybody out there trying to train hard or just stay pain free?
Just to plug the whose podcast this is, take your creatine. Don't not take your creatine. 10 grams a day at least.
Yeah, even and especially if you apparently if you have a concussion now.
Oh yeah, have you?
I've been reading up on that a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, concussion protocols for creatine.
Yeah.
Sleep deprivation. Like creatine's really good for helping cognitive function on low sleep.
Yeah.
So it's not just like to help muscularly. Like a lot of other uses that you should be getting your creatine in.
Yeah, I said the research coming out about all the different ways that creatine help out has been kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah.
As of late, so
especially like a lot of people will get it if you eat red meat, you'll get some creatine from that. But I don't eat meat, so I get all of my creatine through supplementation.
Yeah. So. And Creatures just got that for you guys, so definitely check it out. I said we're selling it.
Shameless plug.
You're buying it, so. But yeah, well, Trevor, just thanks for coming on today. I said it's been a pleasure, and I said obviously with this backdrop, it's beautiful sitting on top of this platform. Had a great time, and so yeah, as right now we're out, guys, and we'll catch you next time.